Hey everybody, welcome to What's Next, live from the Channel 13 studios. I think I just gave our director a heart attack because I literally just sat down. Great to have you with us here as we look ahead to what's coming up at 11 o'clock on 13 News and also talk with you about some of the headlines of the day. Bear with me as I turn my Facebook app on so I can actually see what you're saying. A quick rundown of what we're going to be talking about over the next couple of minutes. The impact of this chemical fire in Illinois. Did you see this? We showed this to you earlier on the news tonight. It's having an impact hundreds of miles away here in Indiana. Sean's going to show us some video coming up in a few minutes of that. Also, Father's Day coming up. What are you giving the dad in your life? Or dads, what would you like? An interesting survey showed the #1 thing we dads want on Father's Day, and it just might surprise you. So hopefully that'll spark some conversation coming up in just a few minutes. Sean's got rain chances and cooler temperatures. On a serious note, though, we want to begin with this. We already have reports, sadly, of drownings this summer involving kids. Absolutely heartbreaking. An 8-year-old boy has died 2 weeks after falling into a pool. His 6-year-old brother was also found in that pool. He is still in the hospital tonight at Riley Hospital for Children. This all happened in Grant County. And we looked at the statistics. The National Safety Council says drowning is the leading accidental cause of death among really young kids, but it's the second leading cause of preventable deaths for kids as old as 15. So when we talk about pool safety and, you know, summer safety, it seems like we do this story every summer, and some of you might be saying, yeah, I know. When you look at the statistics, it's still a big problem. And so that's why we are talking about it tonight. Emily Longnecker is covering this story for us. She joins us now to talk about what you learned. And who did you talk to, Emily?
Well, I talked to a couple people. I talked to a mom who has nearly experienced this tragedy 4 years ago, and she's taken what happened to her then 3-year-old son and created a nonprofit called Chase's Challenge to basically teach parents CPR and water safety. And then I also talked with an expert from the National Drowning Prevention Alliance. And just as you said, yes, drowning, the leading cause of accidental death in kids ages 1 to 4. And what we talked about tonight is it can happen so quickly, 20 seconds to a minute once that life and death struggle starts. And oftentimes the victims, they can't scream for help. It's a silent kind of situation because they don't have the breath to scream for help. So we talked about some prevention tips, and the expert that I talked to tonight talked about layers of protection. There are layers of protection to help you avoid this kind of tragedy from happen. And here's what those layers look like. Having gates and fences around a pool, if you own a pool, and having alarms on those and making sure that that gate is locked. Swimming lessons for your kid. You can, get your kid in swimming lessons as young as 6 months old. Using a Coast Guard certified life vest if you're in water and you can't swim, having that on. There's something also now that a lot of groups are doing called a water watcher, and it's basically you have a tag around your neck if you're a parent and say you're at a pool party, and for 15 minutes you've got that tag around your neck, and your only job is to watch everybody in that pool. You're not on your phone, you're not even turning away to answer a question or talk, because that's how quickly an accident can happen, right? So and we talked to this mom, Danielle Baum, and 4 years ago her little 3-year-old fell in a friend's pool. And Danielle says, she was in helping with dinner and getting ready, and she came outside to see her husband, who is a doctor, performing CPR on their then 3-year-old, and just the trauma of that. And she certainly has not forgotten that moment. He's fine, and she says, we know we're one of the lucky ones. We're blessed. So. Absolutely. Yeah. So she, she's, keeps spreading this message. She says it bears repeating because, obviously this continues to happen. And she says, you always think it's not going to happen to you. And it's not a matter of bad parenting, good parenting, nothing like that. It's a matter of accidents can happen. Even if you think you have, she says, I thought I had everything figured out and, and put the safety measures in place and it happened. So
yeah, I think, you said, what was it, as fast as 20 seconds it can happen? like
20
that.
seconds. 20
Oh,
seconds. Yep.
that
Once
is-
that real struggle starts. Yeah, 20 seconds. 20 seconds to a minute.
That is
So that's a
terrifying.
that's a stark time frame, and an alarming statistic.
Yeah. All right. Well, we look forward to your story and more of what you found and hearing from that mother and her message to other parents tonight at 11 o'clock. Emily, thank you as always.
Yep.
Pools been popular destinations the last week or so with this intense heat and humidity. Sean Ash joins us tonight with a look at the forecast, and thankfully, Sean, we're going to get a break from the intense heat and humidity, talking about the cooler overnight temperatures this week.
Oh yeah, we have flipped the script here. That wind of change kicking in big time. If you have not been outside this evening, shame on you.
Yeah, it was beautiful all day long. I love the lack of humidity.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I
Makes
mean,
such a difference.
And today was best of both worlds because it was, it was still warm. I mean, we got up almost to 90 degrees.
Yep.
But just the dew points drying out here. And look at the sunset up in Kokomo.
Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. Very, very nice here. We are paving the way for a cool night, already down to 72 in Indy. We've got some 60s on the map. This is what you're feeling, however. Look at the dew points that are now well into the 40s. If you recall last week, we were at times 70 plus. That's the tropical air that we were sweating through. And now we have shifted the gears here. No rain locally. Couple of showers there and rumbles of thunder racing across northwest Ohio. Coming a little lake influence. Also, there's a little twist over the eastern lakes, so there's some upper level disturbance. I show you that because it's possible by this time tomorrow evening a stray shower, not going to rule it out. The bigger story easily is the southward push of dry air. And this thing's going to be hanging around for several days. We'll have it tomorrow, we'll have it Wednesday, and we'll have it Thursday before we start to see an uptick in the muggy meter late week. But when I get home tonight, we are opening up those windows, we're cooling that house down, and we're going to carry that over into the first part of tomorrow morning.
Excellent.
And we'll do it again tomorrow night and into Thursday morning too.
See, I think this is perfect. It's the best of both worlds. We were just talking to Emily before we went on the show. We were saying, you can still go swimming during the day.
Yes.
80 degrees is a high. But just, that nice break at night where you can open the windows.
If I'm outside in the shade, I don't want to sweat. That's just me personally.
That's true.
Last week that was the case. Boy, just sweating crazy. Now, going to be very pleasant in the shade. Yard work, whatever you're doing, it is going to be a nice stretch run for us.
Good.
No doubt.
Great. All right, let's switch gears now and talk about this massive fire in northern Illinois. It is expected to burn for days. This is a plant in Rockton. Firefighters are still trying to figure out exactly how this thing started, but look how intense that is. There is so much smoke, it can be seen on satellite. And even though it's dispersing, we're told that remnants of that smoke are actually going to drift into central Indiana?
Yeah, but I want to point out that it is dispersing. We are so far removed from the focal point that it's going to be a loft. And I want to show you a couple of vantage points of how this played out. So this is from a camera in Harvard, Illinois, which is roughly 20 miles east of Rockton, where the explosion took place. And I've got an aerial. There you go, right there. That's the smoke plume. You'll see the camera pivot to the right a little bit, and you can see
down there, right above the tree line.
Right above the tree line, and just south of that red arrow. That was the smoke plume, and now this is a live look. So you can still see it's still burning. Now you mentioned the satellite. So let me show you this. This is from earlier today, and I've got it pointed out. You see that black plume there, and you can see it getting caught in the upper level wind and getting kind of pushed downstream. So again, it gets mixed up. It doesn't make it to the ground. I just checked the air quality, in fact, here locally, and our air quality is good. So this, it's not, thankfully, this is not going to be impacting air quality, but it does go to show you how the atmosphere, it's fluid, and that, that was a massive fire.
Absolutely.
Next chance of rain over there is Thursday.
All right. So they're going to be dealing with this.
They
for
are
a
going to be
while.
dealing with that, unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. No employees were hurt, amazingly.
Thankfully, that's good to hear.
Yeah. And let's talk about Father's Day. This is where I want you joining us from home to chime in. Let us know. Okay, we're less than a week away. Here's Here's your warning, right? If you haven't gotten a gift yet. We found this interesting. At the top of the wish list for Dad, believe it or not, it's not a tie. It is family time.
Yes.
And even after the pandemic, you know, when everybody was cooped up together for more than a year, family time is still the number one gift item.
As it should be. I don't mind a big plate of biscuits and gravy either.
I don't mind that. That is still, I still remember that. My son is 10 years old, and it must have been like 5 years ago.
Okay.
He actually remembered, and he poured me a bowl of cereal. I don't typically eat cereal for breakfast, but it's the thought that counts, right?
Yes.
He got the milk out, poured it all, and carried the bowl of cereal all the way
man.
upstairs
I
and set
love
it on my nightstand.
That is awesome.
Best
That is
Father's Day gift I've ever received. Not because it was cereal, but he thought it. You know, he remembered it, and at 5 years old, that was beautiful. What do you think? What's your what's at the top of your list?
You're right. I always tell people every day is Father's Day. You know,
Yep.
when you have kids, every day is Father's Day. So I usually just tell look, don't stress, man. Don't you know? And we're good about it to each other.
Yeah.
Let's just whatever we're doing, it's fine.
Yep.
So for me, it is. For me, if I can just spend some quality time with the kids, that's what it's all about.
Yep.
So we do. I mean, I could eat biscuits and gravy every single morning, but we try to make an effort on Father's Day.
we wouldn't turn it away. But,
That's right.
If you do want to buy an actual product for Dad, Retail Me Not suggests practicality. So maybe skip the tie or you know, the golf tees, and maybe consider upgrading the office. You know, buying something for Dad for the home office if he's working from home, since a lot of people are still working from home.
Yeah.
So I would take that. Patty says, we are getting together with my dad on Sunday. We'll be 30 of us. Wow, that is
Ooh,
quite a
love it.
celebration there, Patty. That sounds great. Love that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Patty said she didn't smell anything. Yeah, because everything's aloft with the smoke plume. I like Daniel. This is good parking garage, walking, and elevator riding weather. I like
Yes.
that. Oh,
Right.
good times.
All right. Well, thank you very much for tuning in to What's Next. We're going to have much more at 11 o'clock, as we always do, over on Channel 13. And join us again tomorrow night at 10. Hope to see you then. Good night.